I just thought we were going to have a few drinks. Who's this guy? And love is incredibly mysterious, as you know. And it's still the thing that troubles most people for a lot of their lives until they work it out, and which you may do eventually. You hear the conversations in the restaurants, the lovers speaking to one another, and it never really changes. People compete with one another as they're telling each other that they love each other. I love you. I love you. Yeah, but I really love you. I mean, I love you. I love pencils you have sucked and thrown away 20 years ago. I love your eyebrows and your ancestry and everything about you. Just eat your food and let me love you. Don't speak. And they don't know, of course, at the time that that dialogue is just from a very bad science fiction film written by nature. Really what they're saying to one another is, the race must continue. The race must continue. My vidudium is pointing at your thrunungulator. The race must continue. And if they don't handle it properly, you see them 40 years later, the same people in the same restaurant, if you have the time. You go there and you see them and they communicate in a different way now, in middle age. In some cultures it's called silence. Unless I'm missing something and they're saying a lot with the fork hitting the plate. And if their eyes do meet this time, it's not intimacy, it's embarrassment. The man makes that noise as he chumps his chop. In his throat a kind of horrible sound, this sounds like a Balkan curse. And the woman has her own noise of disquiet there. And she's spearing her salad, like a, it sounds like a dove having a dump. And then they go home to the bed they've sheared. When you shear a bed, it's a difficult process. When you go home, you're a bit. I had a couple of drinks and the bed's all woolly, and you have to get the clippers out. Here we go again. Don't move. And when they've sheared the bed, they share it. And they get in. And they have real intimacy, which it takes years to achieve. You're not going to get it with somebody you don't know very well. Not that there really is such a thing as casual sex. What is that? What is that supposed to be? It's never really casual. You always have to turn up. And it's never casual unless you're both wearing Sherlock Holmes hats or something and you're covered in crisps. One of you's eating an omelette, the other one's doing a crossword. Then it's kind of casual. I'm talking about real intimacy, where people don't mess around with all that manipulating the phrase, I love you. People, you get this all the time. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Bake me a cake or go away. Children can master those 3 words. What do you want for breakfast, darling? I want sugar, fried in honey. No, you're having fruit, bread, wholesome things like that. I love you, Daddy. I love you too. Sugar, you say. I'll be right back. It's just hard to like certain foods. Look at this. I'm trying to addict myself to it. It doesn't work for me. Fruit. It's just God showing off. Look at all the colors I know. Horrible stuff. If somebody comes to your house for dinner or the weekend or something, and they don't bring a bottle of wine or some chocolates or biscuits or something, you bitch about that person when they leave. You say, mean motherfucker, didn't bring anything. You never hear anybody say they didn't bring any fruit. Not a single melon. We had them for 3 weeks. I didn't see a grape. Nobody likes it. That's why they put mirrors around it in supermarkets. You catch sight of yourself and you think, fuck it, I'm dying, I better eat some of this. They don't do that with the eclairs, do they? Terrible. You have one. Confirm that it's awful. It's got stones and things in it. What is the point? What was I saying? I have no idea what I was saying. What was I saying? It doesn't matter. It takes ages as well. It goes on and on and on. Now, so the other thing, don't know. Yes, intimacy, and what is real and what is not. And I suppose, the conditions have to be right, of course, for love to happen. It is much more difficult to be female, I grant you that. Because the body is more complicated. If you're born a woman, all these things happen to you. You're a baby, then a child, then a girl, then a girl, woman, and all these things are going on. It's this constant opera where the masks keep falling to the floor throughout your life. Who am I? I don't know. Watch out, I'm fucking nuts. And then, if you're a male, you're born, you have a finger up your nose and the other hand on your dick, and you get taller. And that is really it. And it's fairly amazing to think of the ludicrous taboos that persist amongst us informed, intelligent, able people, just from biology. For all these years, it is still a difficult thing to talk about menstruation with a woman. If you're male, and you find this out as a young man, very quickly. Because you're talking to somebody, and you're saying, listen, I agree with everything you're carving on the kitchen table. I do. I really, really do. But do you think it's possible that you may feel this way, perhaps, because of your That first high kick to the thorax generally does the trick. If you address the subject at all thereafter, it's always in the most feeble way. You go, yes, I know. Yes. Have you seen the moon? You don't. And we're told, and it's traditional, that things have to be just right for a woman, for certain exchanges and acts to happen between you. If you care about somebody, really properly care, it has to be just right, And we're told that men don't need very much. They just appear. All circumstances are fine for any sensitive occasion. Whereas with women, things have to be right. People are saying, I love you all the time to reassure one another. I love you, I love you, I love you. In bed, as they're making love, I love you, I love you. Why have you got ham in your bed? This is what women say. Why? I don't know. It's there. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? You're not hungry? You might be hungry later. I don't know. But it's there. I'm prepared. And what is the noise? There's noise downstairs. It's nothing. It's my flatmate. Forget it. He won't hear anything. I'll tell him everything later. Anyway, don't worry about it. No, we must have music. All right. Christ, I love you. I love you. Now, there. Not Wagner. I feel like I'm being invaded. Oh, God, what's the point? You're just lying there anyway. You've taken all the lingerie up. This is too easy. Can't you hide under the bed and send up a flare or something? This has to be a game for me. All these games. All the fear. Very difficult to tell some people you love them, of course. It's very difficult to tell your father you love him. If you're a man, I love your dad. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You okay for money? I'm very good for money. I just want to tell you that I love you. Oh, yeah. I'll tell your mother. It's a difficult thing. So these people talking in the restaurant, maybe about what they don't really understand, we'll find out later with everything that happens to them. And when they go to bed at night, years and years later, they do achieve a kind of real intimacy, where you have to know somebody very well to be able to say, I hate the way you breathe. Why do you breathe like that? It sounds like it's coming through your fucking forehead. I haven't slept in 35 years. Do you have any idea how fat you actually are? Do you have any fucking idea? No, you don't, do you? Because your little face is an island trapped in a sea of flab! I would stab you to death, but I can't afford to take the 2 weeks off work! Nothing that can't be sorted out by a nice cup of tea.